going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to preview Port Adelaide's round 1 clash against the Freo Dockers at Adelaide Oval this Saturday, starting at 4 o'clock. It's going to be an absolute beauty, so let's dive in and see what these teams have to offer. It's going to be a mega first round clash for Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. Finally, footy is back for round 1 of 2018. Back at the Fortress. It's going to be a very exciting game and a very interesting game considering how good Fremantle's JLT form was. Port Adelaide's was pretty good too, and we noticed some key differences for personnel as well across the Port Adelaide team. And Fremantle have some young stars that are going to debut as well, which is very exciting. So as I keep saying, it's a big first game for both teams. It's a new year, a new start. Fremantle have been disappointing over the last couple of years, and they'll be looking to fire back this year and trying to earn some respect back from the competition and also push for another final spot that they were so deep in a couple of years ago. Obviously, with the return of Travis Boak, and you've got Sam Powell-Pepper as well coming to the side for round 1, Port Adelaide are very much a full-strength side. Without any injuries, Tom Rockcliffe will make his debut for Port Adelaide as well. So will Jack Watts and Stephen Motlop, along with a new recruit from Melbourne, Dom Barry, a few years ago. He looks like an exciting prospect, and with those other experienced teammates that he's going to be playing with, it's going to be a very interesting first game. Some key matchups to look forward to for this game. I've got 4 for you today, Port fans. It's looking likely that these players are going to line up against each other, or at some stage will be playing on each other. And I tell you what, the first big one, Fife versus Ollie Wines, probably the 2 equal best midfielders for each team. Fife looks in great nick in the JLT form. He was just destroying all the teams, and especially against West Coast, they look very, very exciting, Fremantle. I hate to say it, but they look like they've kind of moved into an attacking mode a bit. Their defensive style that they have been playing with so long has kind of faded a bit, and they've become more of a balanced side. They've got a second full forward that's looking likely as well, with Taberner looking very much in good nick. But that's not to say Port Adelaide don't have all these things. Fife versus Ollie Wines, though, will be a very exciting matchup in the midfield if they indeed go next to each other. Be interesting to see how Port Adelaide play with Nat Fife obviously being the captain and in great nick as well. It's going to be something that, do they tag Fife or do they let him roam free? Remember last year where Port Adelaide played Freo at Adelaide Oval 2017, round 2 I think it was, we ended up winning by 89 points. Fife did not have any influence, although Fremantle were a little bit undermanned, and this year they come with a little bit more experience and a little bit more more maturity. And with Fife back in the side looking very good, the Port Adelaide midfield and the team will have to be wary of what he does, because if he gets away from us, Fremantle might be in the game a little bit more than we want. The other thing that is very interesting for a matchup is how Fremantle deal with Charlie Dixon. He is a monster down forward, and I reckon Johnson will get the job on him. And if they play Charlie deep, Johnson is a perfect match because he's got the height and he's got the strength to go with Charlie. But the thing is, does he have the fitness to go with Charlie? Because he runs up the ground, he's a presenter, he likes to double back, he just moves around in the forward 50 and outside 50. And Port Adelaide's forward line across the weekend with 4 tools, and I'll get to that in a minute, is going to be a bit of a stretch, especially in perfect conditions for footy. It's a bit of a stretch for Fremantle's defence, and if they have 3 big tools down there, Port, at one stage you're going to have Jack Watts, Charlie Dixon, Todd Marshall. You're going to have Westhoff floating there around there at stages. It's going to be very interesting to see how Freo match up with our forward line. And speaking of a forward line, down on the other end you've got Cleary playing on Taberner, and as I said, Taberner has had a massive improvement over the off-season, and he's looking like a very dangerous player. It's one to watch. Obviously, they've got Cam McCarthy down there. You've got Ballantyne. Fife can go down in their forward 50 and play forwards. But if Taberner can replicate his JLT form, we're going to be very much wary of how he plays and who plays on him. And I reckon Cleary will get the job. So it's definitely going to be a big task for our defence. And obviously, people keep questioning our defence and how mature it is, or is it undermanned? Is it small? You've got Howard, you've got Cleary, you've got Jonas. I think as a team defence, we worked so well last year, and especially in those last 4 games, those 3 really worked well together. And I think if you have them playing against each other, with each other, sorry, not against each other, with each other, and you've got Darcy Byrne-Jones, you've got Hamish Hartlett, Houston, Bonner, all running through there, it's a good mix. And I think their forward line is not to worry about. It's just the big name players, which, speaking of another big name player, you got Aaron Sandlands taking on Paddy Ryder in the ruck. Big task first up for Paddy against the 211cm giant. The Big Show, I'm going to nickname him because he's so damn tall. But I think Paddy has the jump, and Sandlands is, I think, too old now. I don't think he'll have that same impact he used to have all those years ago, when his height would be no match for any other ruckman that any team would have. So I feel now that Port Adelaide are well positioned to take this game. But the thing is, are they prepared to match probably what Freo will bring, which is I'm expecting a 4-quarter performance by them. I'm a little bit nervous about this game in the sense that it's round 1, anything can happen. If we're not on, then we're going to be in a bit of strife. But the thing is that I like is what Hamish Hartlett said in his interview with Sports AWA. He stated that basically whoever takes that momentum first and lets things settle and really takes the game on and holds that momentum will probably run away with it. And I think with our mature players and a little bit more experience around the ball, we'll definitely be able to do that in the later stages. But it will be a closer game than some people think. Another question I'm asking for our team is who can stand up. Obviously, with no Robbie Gray, are we going to miss Robbie Gray? I think so. I think he's a 2 to 3 goal player, and whatever possessions he has in the middle as well is crucial to our team. He's a star and a big star that we're going to miss, but other players can stand up. That's why we have these new recruits in the team. That's why we've got players like Stephen Motlop coming in. We've got Tom Rockcliffe in. We've got Ollie Wines there. We've got Chad Wingard, who's a big one. He needs to stand up a bit more this year. He's got so much talent, and I reckon he's got to use it a bit more. And in games like these without Robbie Gray, this is a perfect opportunity for him to take that game on and take his game to the next level, which we know he can do, and he has the talent to do. What are we looking out for tomorrow's game, Port fans? Well, I think the first quarter is going to set the tone. Do we come out firing, have a Richmond-like quarter, and really set the crowd alight, get the crowd involved, because it's going to be a decent crowd there tomorrow. Expecting around the 40,000 mark. It's not a bad crowd considering the time slot, and the weather's going to be quite hot, 33 degrees. I think if we can get that first quarter edge, then as the night goes on, it gets a bit cooler, and we'll be able to just settle a bit more and take our stride. Take that game on and really put the pressure on Fremantle in the later stages. So a big first quarter is needed by Port Adelaide. How the new recruits are going to go, that's the biggest thing we're probably all looking forward to. I mean, Jack Watts especially, such a champion in terms of how he played in the JLT game, and I reckon he's going to take his game a bit further. He might not kick 6 goals every game, but if he has his 10 possessions and 2 or 3 goals, it's more than enough for me. And he's going to do his role every week with Charlie down there in the half, and if Todd Marshall keeps playing as well. You've got Tom Rockcliffe, who's just a tackling machine when it comes to it. He's a contested player, and he's really going to take our midfield to another level as well, along with Ollie and Sam Powell-Pepper, Brad Ebert as well. All these contested players that really like to get in and under and get that ball out to their outside runners. And obviously Stephen Motlop, who is an outside runner, will definitely benefit from these players coming into the side, and obviously him coming in as well. We're really looking forward to him bringing his pace and his silky skills that he can use. As long as he is consistent enough, he's going to really perform, and I think tomorrow he's going to start really well in front of a big crowd. And obviously, the biggest thing that we all question is execution. In front of goals, inside 50, our percentages inside 50 are quite low, and we've got to execute those chances and take our opportunities. It's as simple as that. If we take our opportunities, we're an unbeatable side. And if tomorrow we take our opportunities, kick straight, it should be a very, very comfortable win. I'm not saying we're going to win comfortably, but I think if these things all connect, comfortably win. Fremantle don't have a chance if Port Adelaide are on song. And let's hope they are with a big crowd at Adelaide Oval. One last thing, obviously with a big crowd at Adelaide Oval, we have to pack the Portress. I know time slot is a bit odd. We don't like it. The weather's a bit hot. But it's the first game of the year. We haven't had this much excitement going into a season for a very long time. Last season was a bit of unknown early, and we played quite well, above all expectations. And I think this year we've got expectations that are so high. we need to be there ready and cheering on for that never tear us apart and not giving in, playing before the game. It's going to be a very exciting day, and it's great to have footy back at the Portress, round 1. Port Adelaide versus Fremantle. Well, Port fans, that wraps up this preview for the Port Adelaide versus Fremantle game for round 1 of 2018. Thank you very much for tuning in on the channel, as well as on the Port Fan Radio Network, ThePear podcast as well. This will be broadcasted out through Spreaker, so if you don't like watching me, then listen to me. It's as simple as that. So subscribe to the channel if you are new, and obviously go listen on Spreaker if you don't have the chance to watch. I'll be at Adelaide Oval tomorrow. It's going to be a big, big game, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the boys out for a first proper hit out against the Dockers. My name is Anthony. Thank you very much for tuning in, and obviously, come the pair!